Hello my friends, let's go for the military map update. Russia tries to get back the territories near to Marinka that they lost not long time ago. So just to clarify what happened, Russia got this territory, those 2 fields or 3 fields under their control, and Ukraine performed some sort of the small counterattack in that area. But Russia sent some reinforcements to this road that were successfully demolished by the Ukrainian army. And the guys from the deep state identified the position of some of the video that was posted before, how the Russian T-90 tank was destroyed in that area. The tank got the special demine equipment that goes in the front part of the tank, but it didn't save the tank. It was demolished probably by the Ukrainian artillery. Oh no, sorry, it's clear that our guys used the javelin over there. Russia claims that the T-90 tank is indestructible, but you see what may happen to that tank just after the standard javelin shell. So it means that the Ukrainian army secured their positions in that area. And if we go from Marinka to Avdiivka, there's just a little change on the north. I wouldn't say that it's very dramatic, maybe just the map correction. It was yesterday and it is today. However, unfortunately on the south part of Avdiivka, Russia advanced a little bit. We don't see it on this military map, but we got the footage also from the deep state. The Russian forces were spotted by the drone surveillance of the Ukrainian side, but unfortunately they managed to take the positions of the Ukrainian army on the south part of Nevelsk village. So it's somewhere here in this area, probably they advanced towards this tree line. And before we go to Bakhmut, let me tell you about the partner of my channel and also my sponsor, the Atlas VPN. Now they have the huge discount for my subscribers and followers, and you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $183 per month. But this big deal finishes very soon, so my friends, hurry up to join the club. And Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. Let me tell you why. Atlas VPN encrypts your data so it's out of reach by the government, annoying ads or hackers. And yes, believe me, your personal account may be vulnerable, especially when you use the public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN has the breach monitoring service that helps to prevent the hacking of your devices. So then I see the warning message, I disconnect from the public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN helps me to access services and websites which are blocked in my country. I know why, but Patreon is one of them. My friends, and now please check out the link below where you can sign up for the 3 years offer for $183 per month, where you can have 83% of discount together with 3 months for free. This limited offer is available with my personal link and it expires next month, my friends, so hurry up to join the club. Alright, so for the Bakhmut, mostly we have good news about the area. There is some point where Ukraine assaulted against the Russian forces and we caused them severe losses. I'll show it to you. As for the city itself, there is no movement from the Russian forces. However, this gray area moved towards this city park, or this is the territory of the local military branch. As you can see, the fighting is ongoing in the most part of the western side of the city. So this is how Bakhmut looks like now. I published this video on my Telegram channel. Residential buildings completely demolished by the Russian aviation bombs and artillery. So our guys are fighting there. They also take the positions. So this is our warrior. He took the high ground to be able to fire towards the Russian side, but still it's very dangerous to stay in those buildings because Russia is completely demolishing them. So little by little, I think Ukrainian forces may leave the city by the end of May, let's say. But firstly, we're gonna start the counterattack. We're all waiting for it, but the weather is still not good. For several days it was very rainy on the east and also on the south, and the soil went to complete dirt again. So here you can see it's M113, the Ukrainian armored vehicle, and the dirt is just astonishing. I wonder how it still runs on it. And this is the Ukrainian soldier at least they got some humor that keeps to maintain the spirit. Alright, so Ukraine got the successful operation over here today. There was the fight between the Russian assault forces and Ukrainian army that resists over here. Those were not Wagner's but the regular Russian army. So it was confirmed by the drone images that the group of the 20 Russian soldiers lost their lives near to that forest. For them, it's very hard to hide in those green areas because there are not enough leaves on the trees in this time of the year. And there were other videos published today, but for me it's hard to identify the location. The guys who posted that say that it's near to the Bakhmut city, but where? I don't know, and probably I will never know because sometimes you cannot identify the particular place only by some of the roads. Well, maybe I can identify it, but it's very hard to do it. The General Mark Milley says that Ukraine not just created 9 new brigades for the future counteroffensive, but also they're fully ready for the counteroffensive. So I think now the main factor is the weather. Remember the story how Russia bombed their own city of Belgorod? Well, actually it wasn't just the single bomb, there was the other one that didn't explode. And just on the second day after the main explosion, Russians were able to find that bomb. So they moved it out from the ground. It is the Fab 500, very powerful bomb. So Russian citizens in that district really were lucky that bomb didn't explode, and also I think Russians counted to target some sort of the underground Ukrainian defense or maybe command centers, because the first bomb also went deep into the ground and then exploded. If it had exploded near to the ground level, there would be severe devastations around. One more video about the weather conditions in Ukraine. You can see it's muddy hell. This is the off-road capability of the Leopard 2 tank. Yes, they are now on the front lines, but Ukraine doesn't use them to fight. We saved them for the future counterattack. Germany expelled lots of the Russian officials from its territory and they went to Moscow today. There were mostly the Russian diplomats who we know are the Russian spies. The report from the Institute of the War Researchers says that Prigozhin got some sort of the roof in the Russian army. They say that Prigozhin and Russian military officials plus the Russian political leaders agreed the concept to freeze this war and turn it into the long-term conflict. This is not good for Ukraine, it's not in our interest, and that is why Ukraine is planning the counterattack to disrupt the Russian plans. Now Russia is out of the resources for the new attack, let's say, on Ukraine, but they may collect the resources during this frozen conflict and start the war with new power. This is the Russian popular singer Shaman. He came out with a clip in the center of Moscow on the Red Square wearing this leather jacket with a side strip and with interesting D on a hat like a Nazi. He was marching on the square glorifying Russia. And that is basically the idea of the song. The news from Ukraine that I don't really like, it's coming from our parliament, and they want to introduce a new law banning the critics of the Ukrainian government. So if you criticize the Ukrainian officials from any kind of the structure in internet, you may have 5 and up to 7 years in prison. Well, there are lots of videos of mine criticizing the Ukrainian government for corruption. And our independent journalists, they do work online mostly, and because of one of those articles, the investigation was started against the deputies of Reznikov, the Minister of Defense. So now some of the deputies of Reznikov were arrested and the investigation is ongoing. If our parliament gives the pass for this law, it means that they will close the mouths for many volunteers, for bloggers, for soldiers and journalists. And it also would confirm that the Ukrainian parliament is a very corrupt organization. But for now it's just the project, so let's see how they will vote for it. I'm not in Ukraine and I can tell whatever I want about my government. But if they take this law, I may see some circumstances for me personally if I will go back to Ukraine, and they say that they want to introduce this law restricting the rights of speech to fight against the Russian propaganda. Well, it's kind of funny because basically it's just the excuse for them personally not being investigated by the independent journalists. I think that many of you know that guy. His name is Madar. He's very popular on the social media, not only in Ukraine but also abroad, even though he speaks Ukrainian only, at least in his videos, and he is the commander of the drone battalion. And not a long time ago they were able to collect lots of the funds to buy lots of the drones, more than 200 units. Those are mostly the Mavic 3 drones, which is the best seller for Ukrainian army. But he says that it was very difficult to find those drones even in Europe because China restricts shipping of those drones. And he says that there is the high probability for China to ban the selling of their DJI drones for the military services, but I still wonder how can they check that out, whether you're using the drone for your personal needs or you fight with it. I think that in that case China just needs to ban the selling of the DJI products, but still DJI company supplies the Chinese military army and they got the funds from the selling of the drones also. Yes, there are also some alternate manufacturers like Autel, but for the similar price I think Mavic 3 overperforms the Autel. Madar says that Mavic 3 has the fantastic zoom in the camera, and that's awesome. There are many other drones more expensive, but we need to use them massively, and if you give the DJI drone to any kind of the soldier, they need to make some of the flights and then they can do the surveillance job on the front lines. So it's very easy to fly and very easy to control, and I can confirm it myself because I got some DJI drones, but I sent them to Ukrainian army. My friends, now press the like to this video and also don't forget to check the link in the video description for the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount, especially for my subscribers and followers. The deal is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.